All right, we are back with another episode of 90s Noise. I'm April, born 1991.
And I'm Ashley, born 1988. So we just want to thank everyone for listening to our episode. And we want to remind everyone that we do have a Patreon account that you can find a link to either in our show notes for each episode, or you can find the link to it on our Instagram, which is 90s Noise. And we have a great deal for $3 a month. You have access to all of our videos of all of our episodes, all of the exclusive interviews that we do with all of our guests. You also will have access to a couple of fun bonus episodes each month, either related to a past episode or just something random that we decided to do. So we would love it if you would go on and support us and check that out. Also remember to follow us on Instagram, and of course, leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcast, whatever platform that is. Leave us a review. We would love to hear from you. We really do appreciate all of your support, and we will definitely shout out any reviews that we get.
Also, don't be afraid. Send us some messages on Instagram. We love talking to people and hearing feedback. And yeah, we would love to hear from you.
Oh, I should have looked up one of their intro quotes, that they always say at the beginning of the show.
Oh my gosh. It's been so long on these. You're gonna have to refresh my memory on supermarket sweeps and shop till you drop.
Shop till you drop. I have to refresh your memory on those.
Yes, because honestly, I think I'm getting them mixed up. Which one was like the timed running and just like throwing things into the basket?
Supermarket.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like they were both honestly quite similar. If you think about it, they both are about shopping.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that. And let's talk about the fact that they had done a kids version of Supermarket.
They did?
I believe so, because I remember
Fuck, a kid's gonna know how to go shopping.
no. So it was like in a toy store.
Ooh,
Or something
that would
like
be
that.
fun. If they didn't do it, they should have.
They did. I remember I think like maybe Nickelodeon had pulled it or something. Somebody did a kids version, like you've got timed and you're spending $1,000, and they had it as a competition where whoever like got the closest without going over got to keep it. And you had like 60 seconds to 2 minutes.
It kind of sounds a little familiar, like that. I can't pinpoint what that was though, but that does sound like something I remember watching where like you said, they had a price point they needed to get close to, but not go over.
Yeah. So what was the premise of like supermarket sweeps and shop till you drop? Because like you said, they both are very similar and they're centralized around like shopping.
Yeah, they both had like a couple of different rounds before you got to the main one. But
Okay.
I feel like the biggest difference between, well, no, they both also had like the ending where it was just one team that got chosen out of them to do like the final round. So I guess they're kind of same. But they had like a trivia thing, where you answer questions. It was like very simple trivia though. It was like a 5-year-old could have answered a lot of the questions, like unscramble the letters, just like very simple scenarios. And then with the supermarket, yeah, they went around and shopped. Versus shop till you drop is they were in like a makeshift mall of sorts where they had different stores with different items, and you wanted to get the items that were worth the most, but you're kind of taking a gamble on what could be priced the highest just because it looks like, oh, that looks more expensive, and then you open it up and it's like, no, it's only like $10 or something. So which I think supermarket was also the same. You really didn't know the real price of the stuff you were grabbing. You were just grabbing it, hoping that you would get the most in your cart at the time.
Okay. And so when do these show? Because I'll be completely honest with you. I don't really remember them being a staple in my household
Okay.
growing up.
So
Those
yeah,
two specifically.
those two were very big in our household. I recall watching those like a lot, and I don't know if we watched them, every week when they came out, or it's just whenever we happened to watch them. Because I know that they were on, I believe, ABC Family or Lifetime. Well, no, ABC Family, because that's what was before. Yeah, I don't know when they were on, like what time or what day. If we watched them at night or we watched them during the day, but they were going on for a lot of years, and probably
Okay.
before I even started watching them, because I doubt I really started watching them until, I don't know, probably 96 or something. I would think I would have to be of
Okay.
a decent age to where I can understand somewhat of what was going on to enjoy it. But I always just found them really entertaining. I don't know if you were able to watch any of the episodes on YouTube, but
I was not, but like I said, I kind of vaguely, I think I remember like skimming through sometimes, but it never was one that caught my attention.
yeah, and now rewatching it as an adult, they're a little bit like repetitive. Like, you watch
Yeah.
one episode, it's like, okay, they're all the same basically. And they did
Yeah.
actually reboot Supermarket Sweep a couple years ago. Actually, they brought that
Okay.
one back, and which I thought that was kind of cool. Did I watch any of that one? I don't remember if I watched any of the newer episodes. Yeah, so I rewatched one on YouTube, and the one of the girls, it was like I don't know, it was like a girlfriend boyfriend team, but the
Uh-huh.
girl, and it was a scenario where she had to like read, or she had a word that she had to have him spell out, but she could only give clues for like each letter of the word. And she did good like the first two letters, and then the third letter she went mind blank. Like she just was up there like nothing was coming out, and she was just like I'm like, oh my
Oh my
God,
gosh.
how embarrassing.
Yeah,
Oh, it was
that is.
awful. That would be honestly my worst fear. Like, I would have loved to have gone on either of those shows. It just seems like a lot of fun just running around and trying to guess prices of stuff. But I probably would have ended up having that same moment of like, shit, what do I say?
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I'd be the same way. It's interesting to think about, but then it's like how would you react to it on it if
Right, because
you
it's kind of a high pressure scenario, because it's like, okay, you only got, I don't remember the time. I think you earn time. So you get like 60 seconds to go run around the store and grab as many items as you can. And like, you think, okay, like I can do that. Like, but then you're in that moment, you're like, shit, like I'm not grabbing the right stuff, and I'm grabbing this and not what I should be. And yeah, I don't know.
I'd be one of those people that would just like get in and I just like take my arms and like just throw everything in the cart.
Right.
Like I
I'm
wouldn't
surprised
even
no
like
one did that. I don't know if anyone did, but like that would have been smart. If you knew there was like a whole shelf of like more expensive things, just
yeah,
take the
like
whole fucking thing.
like I said, neither of those concepts, I guess, really intrigued me as a kid.
Hmm.
Like I was talking about with the kids version, where it was like the toy
Mm,
store or whatever it was. That obviously because it was
yeah.
toys and stuff
Right.
like that, but
Yeah, that would have been cool.
not the adult version. Like those were
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it's a
I
little bit
already I already
harder to
hated
get
having to
into.
go to the grocery store with my
I was
parents.
gonna ask, like, did you enjoy going shopping when you were a kid? Like, was that like,
Uh,
did you get drug along, or were you excited to go?
Most of the time I was the youngest and I had to go. At a certain age, it was just like, do I have to go? Why? Why can't I just stay home? I'm old enough to stay home by myself. When you're like 7 freaking years and
Oh,
you're like, but I'm old enough.
aw.
So I would always get like bribed with like if you're good, you could get something like
Mm.
you could pick out the cereal for the week or whatever it was to, was it placate? I can't like
Mhm.
to, my vocabulary brain is drawing a blank. I feel like I'm on a game show.
Oh God, here she goes.
Yeah.
She froze up.
To like pacify,
Mm,
to like passive, like keep me calm or whatever, not being not being one of those kids that you walk by and go, oh
mm,
my God.
yeah. Oh.
And which honestly though, I don't, to my knowledge, I don't think I ever was at like a store, at the grocery store or anything. I get fussy sometimes, but then it'd
Hmm.
be like, I don't even know. It'd be like, you can't play your Game Boy or like different things if I didn't behave. And so then it's like, shut up right away. Here's a little tangent. Do you remember they actually still have them, like the little juice box, like the barrels.
Mm, yeah.
We would go to this store called Food for Less.
Okay, yeah.
It was kind of like a little bit like a Save a Lot. And it was one of the only places that had those. And they were like 10 cents
Oh my
a piece.
gosh.
So it would be okay, you each get to pick 10 for a dollar or whatever. That's going to be, those are yours. Make sure you're not taking your brothers or your sisters. Or my parents would tell us we could pick like something. I just remember, like I said, Food for Less was where we would go shopping a lot because we were a family of 5. So
Right.
yes, you gotta save wherever you can. I think like my parents hated grocery shopping too, so I think that's probably why, like the thought of supermarket sweeps especially was just
Like,
like,
ooh.
we already have to do this on a weekly, bi-weekly basis. Why are we going to watch something that is based on that? And then the shop till you drop. I can't even picture that. Like your background with that supermarket sweeps, I could kind of
Hmm.
see like an episode or two kind of. I think when we were talking about this originally, you told me which ones and I was like, oh, so the shows that you'd watch when you were homesick and it wasn't it was you didn't have like cable or something. It was the shows that were on TV and you'd watch in a fever haze.
Or as like we did, we just watched it because we wanted to. I don't know why. I mean, sometimes, you're just watching TV because everyone else is, and then you get
Yeah.
sucked into it. But I don't really recall ever going shopping, honestly, like to a grocery store. Like I remember going to like Kmart and stuff. But that would be more of being able to pick out stuff for me. But I don't really remember the food stores at all. Like I am curious if I ever did go shopping with my mom. I highly doubt my dad ever went shopping, so it would be with my mom. But yeah, that's a good question. But yeah, I don't know. This
Good
is
follow-up
it's
question for your
just
parents.
yeah. Those are just two really fun shows that were in the first half of the 90s, but I know they kept replaying episodes and a lot of reruns
Yeah.
through like the early 2000s because I know I was watching them more when I was older to where I could understand the rules and understand the dynamics and like what was actually going on because Shop Till You Drop, there was a lot more like prizes being won. Like you can win a
Okay.
trip somewhere or you can win this. Whereas the supermarket one was just, I think you won like a sum of money at the end, like whatever you accumulated throughout the game, which is always great. Like, don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
damn. Where's that now?
But what was interesting that I found out, which I didn't realize, was that, and this is probably universal with all like game shows, but if your episode doesn't air, whatever you won on that episode, you don't get. You don't actually win that unless your episode airs. So think about that.
Well, fuck.
Right? The false sense of like, I won a couple $1,000. And they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not airing that episode. Like,
And you're like, what
we
the
ran out of
what?
money.
Why did I just waste my time because some people like would take off work for
Right.
those.
Yeah.
And at the possibility of being able to win more than what they could win
Mm-hmm.
in more than what they could get in a month or something.
Yeah.
Because most of those weren't like little prizes. I mean, it'd be a couple $1,000s
Right.
at
Exactly.
least.
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of these people weren't ones that were making $100,000 a year. They
No.
were the middle class, like for maybe 40,000 a year if they were lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Probably closer to like 12 to 24
Oh, yeah.
if you're on this game show and you win $5,000 for a single fucking day, and then you get told, oh yeah, we're not going to air it, so you don't actually get to keep that. You're out those 8 hours or whatever you would have worked for nothing.
Yeah.
And then you got to think about like the gas, like if you had to do like extra childcare, if it was going to potentially run past the normal time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just different things. And so that's really shitty. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's really shitty.
That's how I feel. I mean, I'm sure like everyone that was working on the show, all the crew and everything, they were still getting paid for the day. So like
Yeah.
what we were all just having fun, just fake winning stuff, Like,
Like it's one
what?
thing if it's one thing. I'm sure they probably had everybody sign waivers
True.
that stated if this doesn't
Yeah.
air, you don't get any of
You
the
could just
winnings.
be doing it for fun. Yeah.
Yeah. But who the fuck reads that shit?
Nobody.
Who? Like, I mean, legitimately, people are expected to not read those.
I mean, that's like a whole thing right now with the the Titanic thing. There's also a Black Mirror episode about that, and it's really fucking weird. So people don't read shit.
No, I mean, we do it every single fucking day. If we download a new app, those terms and services, who has gone through and read that? I would like to know one person who is not studying law who has actually truly
Sat there
read
and
every single
scrolled
time.
through.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll do that, but
I started to like I'd skim through, and I've got a high school education. That's pretty much
yeah,
it.
half of it you
So
just don't understand. That's the
yeah.
problem.
I mean, it's one of those things where anything that has to do with a lot of like legality, I call it legalese
Mm-hmm.
terminologies. It's something that most people, I'm just going to say people in general, don't bother reading. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's part of the whole big thing with like TikTok and everything is that when you agree to their terms and services, you're supposedly allowing China to get into your phone or whatever.
What?
Like that's the whole like
Oh.
that's part of why they're trying to get it banned here in the States
Mm.
is supposedly because
Hmm.
your phone could be used as a listening device or something like that
Oh,
because
wow.
of downloading it. And it's all in the terms and services. But again, who fucking reads it?
That's crazy. It's scary.
It is scary. So for those, so you guys liked shopping, it seems like.
Well, I don't know that we really did. I can tell you, I know my mom didn't like shopping. So just the fact that we watch those shows, I need to get her opinion on why we watch those. And it's probably just one of those things where you're flipping through, you stop, you
Nothing
see,
else on.
because game shows are fun. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just the premise of game shows and winning stuff and just seeing how they do things. I feel like the most just nostalgic thing about those shows, which I can't really ask you about, but were the host. Like I just felt like they fit the shows very
Yeah.
well and they were really good at being enthusiastic and just, I mean, very similar to a lot of the Nickelodeon ones that we talked about before.
Okay.
The hosts that were good compared to the hosts that were kind of like mediocre. Like the two
Yeah.
for these shows were really good. Like they just kept you wanting to tune in. And I feel like that's kind of what made them why they're so popular today with most people that grew up during the 90s. Like, because if they didn't have them, They may not have held up as well, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, which I completely understand. The shows that game shows, the adult game shows I remember watching. One of the big ones was Price is Right.
Hmm.
That was always there's been like a resurgence of that because
Oh my gosh,
everybody's
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I totally understand why everybody was so why they were so happy to win a toaster or whatever or appliances on this game. And it's like that is so true.
I know. I mean, Price is Right has been around since before the 90s,
Long.
right?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
believe so. Like that's one that was been a long time. Let's double check. I actually just remembered another one that was very late in the 90s.
That's kind of cool though that that show and I mean that's still going. Like it started whenever it
1972.
so 72,
51 seasons. Yeah,
that's literally
72.
insane.
51 years ago.
The hold
51.
that that show has on the nation is insane. Like it's such a classic game
Yeah.
show.
Like I remember, wasn't it? Yeah, Bob Barker. I
The
remember
original.
Bob Barker
Oh yeah.
hosting it.
Hmm.
He just always it was one of those where he just seemed so fun. Like
Yeah.
he enjoyed it and everything. It's funny though because for all I remember, he was always the white-haired Bob Barker. I'm sure when it started, he probably
Mm.
hadn't been at that point yet.
Ooh. But yeah, classic white hair.
Pure white. Probably had to color it to keep it that way.
I'm wondering, yeah.
Because it wasn't like the gray or anything. It
Hmm.
was
White,
white.
yeah.
And his little microphone, like with the little like the and that was just always such a classic.
Do they still use that microphone, I wonder? Like, do
I don't
they?
know. Because so like
Because
Drew
I know Drew
Carey.
is doing it, yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
But I don't remember if they have upgraded or if they still have like that same mic setup.
Okay. So like that right there is like a quintessential picture of Bob Barker as the host of Price is Right. So it does look like they do like that Drew still uses that microphone,
Oh,
which I think that's kind of just easier
yeah,
and everything.
because he is asking people questions and stuff, right? So he has to like
Yeah.
share it.
Yeah. And so like that right there is actually Bob Barker in the 80s.
Oh yeah, he does have some
The darker
different hair.
hair. Yeah. That was one that was during the day. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
showed during the day. And so it was something that honestly there weren't any cartoons on. This was really before like like Disney Junior, Nick Jr.
Mm-hmm.
really became a big thing.
It was definitely a family show. Like, you know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
was safe for anyone to watch.
Yeah. And it was always one of those like everybody was always so excited, like in the crowds and stuff. That was a fun one.
What would you say, like, out of the different, I don't remember all the different scenarios that they have, but I know that there's like a big wheel. I know that they have like pick a door, right?
Think so. It's been so long.
I was gonna say, like, which one would you like want to have the opportunity to do? Like, which one do you feel like you would have the most luck with? Even though that's only two options, but I don't know what other ones are.
Because now I'm wondering if I'm getting these also confused. I think so, because like most of the time I was just guessing the pricing on items, like how much something actually cost.
Right. Yeah, there was like the guessing how something cost. There was where you price different things.
And like put it in like order from
Mm-hmm.
highest to lowest.
They had the wheel.
The wheel was like the first thing that you did when you got called on.
Maybe they didn't have doors. I don't know. Maybe that's
I
some other
think,
show.
yeah, I think that's a different one.
Okay, but still, would you want to spin a wheel or pick something behind a door?
I think I'd probably have better luck spinning a wheel, honestly. Honestly.
Yeah.
Well, so like, okay, that brings us into the next one, Wheel of Fortune.
Spinning that wheel.
Spinning that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
I'm gonna have to find this, see if I can re-find it. There's a video of somebody playing, and I think this is pretty recent. How the letters, because it's got a phrase or whatever.
Mhm.
How the letters were out, like what letters were already turned. The phrase that the guy said was like bitches and hoes or something like that. It was something outrageous. And it
He
obviously
forgot that it's a
wasn't.
family show. Did they
Yes.
did they beep him out like beep beep?
I don't remember. It was going around on like I think either Instagram or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Yeah.
It was like it was one of those, yep, I saw that too kind of thing. I
Well,
thought that
yeah.
too.
I mean, yeah. The letters are just the right placement.
Yeah, there's that one, and there was another one too. That
Wheel
was
of Fortune
even
is
worse.
fun. It is a fun game.
It is like trying to think of like what,
I'm
see
not
if you
good
could.
at it though. I'm not good at guessing the phrase.
I
Like
No,
that would
no.
be a terrible
That's
game for me. I would not want to be on that.
It's like Hangman with money.
Yeah, it is. Ooh. Are they still doing that? Because didn't he retire?
He is retiring, I think, at the end of the season they're doing right now.
So they're gonna find a new host?
I think they already tapped somebody for it. I know that they
Wait, who is this? I don't know.
hold
That's
on.
weird. That's weird. That's gonna be so weird. How long has that show been going on for?
So 1975.
Wow. Ooh. Ryan Seacrest. Oh no, we're not doing
Yeah.
this.
Ryan
No, he's
Seacrest got
too
tapped. I couldn't
much.
remember if that
No. Oh God. Oh God. That's like when they gave what was it? The So You Think Not So You Think that dance show. What was that? That's that dance show, like a celebrity dance show, Dancing with the Stars, when they gave the hosting to what Tyra Banks, and then it got like the terriblest of ratings, and they fire her? I don't remember.
I
Just
think
didn't
so, because
it didn't go well.
that was after Bergeron, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tom
Yeah,
Bergeron
yeah,
left.
yeah. I don't see this lasting very long.
No, I don't either.
Because
But I mean, maybe
wasn't Ryan Seacrest from American Idol?
yeah. So yeah, Wheel of Fortune was one. Was definitely that was another one because I think it always went like The Price is Right, Wheel of Fortune, it drink like daytime.
Okay.
And so I would watch that. That's when I'd watch those, like I said, after school or on days that I was sick and I didn't want to watch kitty things or VHSs. I would watch those, and then can't forget another good one, Jeopardy.
I'm
Do,
gonna
do,
be
do,
honest.
do.
I did not watch that one.
We would sometimes watch it when it was on, like in the evening. That would be one that we would sometimes watch.
Hmm.
I don't know. I think it was just something that kind of my parents enjoyed. And it wasn't one of those, oh my gosh, Jeopardy's on, we have to watch it.
Right. Yeah, I feel like I watched it more in my later years, like early teen years or whatever. Like, yeah, we probably had it on if it came on right before something or after something or
Yeah,
whatever. It just wasn't one of those, like you said, that you rushed to go and watch or anything. Again, another one like Wheel of Fortune, I probably couldn't answer a single question during the whole show, so it gets a little, I don't know, it just kind of burst your bubble a little bit because you're like, okay, I don't know fucking anything. Like, how smart am I? Not very.
agreed. I mean, I was the same way on that too. It was still, I mean, everybody knows the Wheel of Fortune. Or no, the Jeopardy. I'm getting them all mixed up now. The Jeopardy theme song, like theme, you're running out of time
Right.
music.
That is classic. The what is, that's classic.
Yeah, what is we would actually play. Okay, so let's kind of do this. And then I'll get into the honorable mention for a very late 90s game
Okay.
show. In school, we would play renditions of these games. Did you
Hmm.
ever do
I'm
that?
trying to think if we ever did anything like that, like Wheel or Jeopardy. I feel like probably in high school, Jeopardy would have been one that we would have played. It was an easy one to kind of do. Yeah, and I think you had like teams and you got to make your own questions. And yeah, I think I do remember doing something like that.
Yeah, we especially my sophomore year in high school, my social studies teacher, Mr. Springer, we would do Jeopardy and he'd have a list of questions based on whatever we were studying at the time. And it would
Mm.
be like going down
Oh gosh,
the lot like our rows.
the pressure's on.
Split the room in half. It would be like he would just make sure everybody at least got to answer one question, got the chance to. It was always a get ready team. There, if other team, they seem to not know what it is, so you can steal.
Okay, that is not what they do in Jeopardy, though. That is what Double
Well,
Dare or like what game show
no,
is that where it's like you can steal Family Feud or
well, it was so I guess it was he made it a mix of like Jeopardy plus
right.
because we had to answer. We would have to
Yeah.
answer
Yeah, if
the
you're
what
divided.
is.
Yeah.
That's why it was always so much like, and he'd always just if it there take whoever was taking too long, he'd just start doing the Jeopardy thing.
Oh
Do,
God.
do, do. It was always fun. I could still see him like sitting at the front of the classroom and just sitting on his little chair and just kind of swinging back and forth while he's doing it. Do 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 do.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, those were. I mean, yeah, they were good, little fun
And Jeopardy has been
shows to
out since the
mimic.
70s too, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
We just lost that host.
So someone else is do they have new shows out? Is it somebody else?
So, actually, the girl who had played Blossom, I believe,
Mm. She's doing
she's the one that had been in Big Bang Theory also,
it?
right?
Yeah. Hmm.
She is like a freaking
She is a genius.
she is a genius.
Yeah.
Genius is an understatement with
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, she's brilliant, but that'll be interesting to see it with the female's perspective.
Yeah, she had been doing it for a little while. And then I think, as always, there's something that caused some controversy or whatever.
I've
People,
seen some advertisements recently. I don't know if it's on Hulu where they showed like a little preview of the episode or something.
uh-huh.
And I have to admit, it looks cheesy as fuck. Like it looks cheap. Like it does
It
not
really
look
does
good.
anymore.
Like I'm like, wait a second, are we going backwards in time? Because why did it look much higher production in the 90s than what you're giving me now for Jeopardy?
Yeah. Yeah. So she had been like a guest host originally. And it looks like she had also been a contestant, maybe like
Mm.
Celebrity Jeopardy or something like that.
Over 8,000 episodes.
Yeah. Because
Yikes.
that was one that was like every day was a new episode, if I remember correctly.
Every day was like a new, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So 1984.
1984.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's the thing too. The production for these, they kind of almost have to be cheap because they're putting out so many. I mean, some like
Yeah.
Price is Right, Jeopardy, those were two that I think were new episodes daily, like Monday through Friday.
And they usually dish out a decent amount of money too.
Oh yeah. Those were always interesting. So this honorable mention, we're taking it to the very end of the
I
90s
think
for
I know
this
which one
one.
you're talking about.
Is that your final answer?
Uh-huh. I knew it. Yep. Yep. That I remember, like that was a show my family was like, we have to watch it. The new episode is on.
Yes.
That show was good. I don't know if it still is, but the first couple of years of that show was, I mean, it was captivating. Like
It
you were on the edge of
was.
your seat. Like, are they going to answer it right? Or are we moving on? Like,
Yeah. And that was so it's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for those of you who've lived
live
under a
on a
rock.
rock.
Because this, I mean, it was big enough that we didn't do a lot. We wouldn't get a lot of computer games.
Mhm.
We got the computer game for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh, I remember that, but I don't think we ever got that.
It was on I think it was on the cheaper side. It wasn't like one of those like
Mhm.
$80 games or anything. And so my parents are like, "Are you gonna play it?" I'm like, "Of course I'm
Of
gonna play
course.
it. I played it
How many
like
times did you
once."
play it? Because you knew you
Also,
weren't going to be able to beat the millionaire question.
it wasn't just that, but also our computer at the time was like it wasn't even like a store bought. It was
Uh,
a mix match parts and everything.
okay.
So it just couldn't handle it.
Oh.
And it would like be spinning and like you could hear the disc spinning and
Oh,
everything.
shit.
It wasn't the best. But yeah, that was one that absolutely my dad would be like, "Is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on?" And he wasn't
Oh.
a big TV person.
Mm-hmm.
And that we would all sit down, like we'd make sure we'd have our food done. If like we were still eating dinner, we'd like turn his chair was actually the far like had the work didn't have a view of the
Mm.
TV. And so he'd scoot over to one of the other sides and kind of be able to be able to watch and everything.
Oh. I mean, and Regis is just a great host. Like,
Oh my gosh, yes.
so, so good. I know it honestly, any of these like game show hosts and like with the
Yeah.
Nick shows or anything, like those would be cool people to meet because they really are like legends from our childhood. Like they are those people that we loved. We didn't really watch it for the contestants. We were watching it because
No.
the hosts were good
Well,
and
because the
kept the show
contestants
going.
changed daily or
Right.
changed every
Right.
episode or throughout the episode, it changed because of just how it was going.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you were really captivated by the host. And if there wasn't a good host, it didn't last long.
Didn't they just recently reboot Who Wants to Be?
They had changed the host. Like
They
we
did
stopped
change the
watching.
host. Yeah, we stopped watching. I don't know when. So it was from 99 to 98 to
Yeah.
2014. I stopped watching long before 2014, but
So actually it was originally a British game show.
oh.
Yeah, the original British version
Hmm.
of the popular quiz show. And it looks like that is still going on. That was 1998. And then a
Okay, so
year
I'm on
later,
the now I'm on the British one. Okay, let me get to the
yeah,
American one. 99 to 2002. Then they had like a break.
yeah.
I think I kind of stopped watching it probably around that time, 2002.
Yeah, we stopped watching after probably about the same time, like you said, just because that's when we enjoyed it the most.
Right. You're in those years where you were able to like really enjoy it. Yeah, Regis.
Yeah.
Oh no. Who else?
It's not really showing any other like main host on
Didn't they
IMDb.
have Meredith do it for a little while?
Meredith did, yeah, for a little bit.
That's the only other one I kind of remember seeing a few episodes.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy Kimmel came back for the reboot.
Oh, okay.
So, but that didn't last long. So,
No,
see,
no, that
a host will make or break the show. Just
and
saying.
it's different than hosting a talk show.
Right.
Maybe they thought that because Regis had done Regis and Kelly, oh, we could pull Jimmy. He's got the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely different.
Yeah.
Not trying to horrendously dog on Jimmy or
Right.
anything, but
He's
it's
got a
just
great career, but he's
yeah, it
not
just
cut
didn't
out for
work.
everything. I mean, he can't be a talk
It's
show host and a game show host and a comedian and an actor and all of these things. Like, pick one. Can't
pick
be
one
everything.
exactly.
So, who would you say out of all of these shows would be your top favorite show?
Probably either Wheel of Fortune or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Okay.
I actually like the hangman type
I
thing.
loved playing that game as a kid.
And so that's part of why I liked Wheel of Fortune. And then Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? That was just such a, oh my gosh, I know that answer. I could have won that money type.
Right. Yeah, you'll get a couple of questions where you're like, oh, I know that, but then 90% of the remaining questions are you're learning stuff as you watch it because you're like, what? I
Yeah.
had no idea. Like that's so random. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I feel like with that
I
show
just
made it so unique.
Yeah, I just remember there was one question one day on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and it was a higher question. And it was something we had just talked about in school.
Oh shit.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I know that. And I was like, it's whatever, whatever. And my parents are just like, no, you're silly. Like this is
You don't
I
know
think this
nothing.
I think it was like a $500,000 question or something
Oh
like that.
wow.
So it was up there. They're like, oh no, it's this. I'm like, no, it's not. I literally just yesterday or whatever. And I was just so adamant about it. And the guy or girl, whoever was the person in the hot seat, used one of their lifelines. And I think ended up getting it wrong, guessing what my parents thought it was. Went back down to the
Ooh.
previous amount and everything. And then when they said what it was and I was right, my parents are just like, oh, I'm like, I told you.
Hey, our kid's actually smart.
Like, I pay attention at school.
I paid attention one day. It paid off.
I
Oh
could
my
have won that
gosh.
500,000.
Yeah, but you had to
What
have
about
gotten all the questions before it.
yeah. So what would you say your favorite was?
I think just on the nostalgic factor, Supermarket Sweep. Yeah, I just remember having the most fun watching that show because I don't know, everyone's just crazy and running around the store and
Oh yeah.
and it's again, you're trying to put yourself in their shoes, like, why the hell are they doing that? Why are they picking up that? Go this way, go that way, and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like I said on that one, I would have just been like, put everything in the car.
Oh,
I always wanted to do that. I
that would
would
be
have gone onto
fun.
it
But then
just to do that.
you'd have to put it back though to be nice, maybe.
Can I
Depends.
plead the fifth on that?
Yeah, I know. It depends on the situation and
Depends
all
on the situation, depends on the mood, depends on what store we're at,
that.
also.
Well, any other game shows? I honestly
I didn't
think that
even,
was like it.
yeah, I don't remember any other game shows
Mm-mm.
that weren't, yeah, game shows of the 90s. We may be missing a couple. Well, I guess, was Family Feud on back then?
If it was, I definitely didn't watch it in the 90s.
I did not watch it in the 90s, that's for sure.
That was something I don't think I watched until I was in high school, if not already graduated. Great show though. Love it.
And so it looks like it started in like the 70s through mid 80s, then it took
Mm.
a break, and then it came back in the 90s,
Okay.
at the very late 90s.
Because I know they had quite a few different hosts. I think Al was a host on one
Yeah.
in one period of time. I do remember that.
Yeah,
And
he
then somebody
hosted
else.
2002 to 2006, 17 episodes.
Oh, that's not very many. Who was the other main guy? That
The main Steve
well,
Harvey,
not him, obviously, but the one before there was like another main guy that I feel like I
John
remember.
O'Hurley.
Yeah, yeah. I think I remember watching a lot of his episodes
Yeah.
before Steve came around.
That one I don't think I ever watched that growing up.
Mm-mm.
Kind of like what you're saying, it was later on. I watch it now, like I'll just go through and find like funny
Yeah,
answers.
I mean,
Like the one,
they could have a whole season of just
oh
terrible answers.
girl, it is a rabbit hole if you go down
Mm-hmm.
that. If you just need a good laugh, it
Oh
is
yeah.
one that is so funny because also like Steve Harvey's reactions are just
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
hilarious.
he's got great
And
reactions.
there's just the one it's still is floating around. I don't know how old this one was from. I know it wasn't the 90s, but where name the one of the seven doors that describes your partner in bed.
Mm,
And it was one of the initial questions, like the slap the buzzer
yeah.
type. And it's two guys up there and they just are standing there and they're just shaking their heads, saying, "Nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not hitting that buzzer. I'm not doing it. I'm
They're
not
not
doing
all
it."
bad though, are they? All the dwarves?
Nate, describe your spouse in bed.
I know, no, I mean, but this all seven of them aren't bad, are they? They're
Sleepy. I
dopey.
mean, Doc would maybe be one of the only
What
ones
the
that
fuck does
wouldn't.
that mean? Doc.
Grumpy, sneezy,
Isn't there a happy one?
dopey,
No.
happy.
But why did they
I
say
think there's
happy?
it
I guess
just
none of them are happy in bed.
really not.
Ooh, that's kind of a burn. Yikes.
But it's so funny because I think what makes it even more funny is that one of the guys up there was in his military uniform.
Mm.
And so he's all being straight laced and everything. He's
Like,
just I
no.
think they showed him on camera first of just shaking his head saying, "I'm not answering, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it." And then the other guy's like, "Me neither, me neither." And Steve Harvey's just
I
like,
wonder if they gave him another question afterwards, or if they were it's like, and they moved on.
I don't know. It's one of those, it's like a meme that said or whatever, just a little video. Legend has it they're still standing up at the podium.
I mean, somewhere out there, somebody gave answers because I don't know how many answers are
Yeah.
on the board, but
Yeah.
someone gave a couple of those, which I mean, they're not really that bad. Like, whatever. Like, we're all a little sleepy
Yeah.
sometimes. We're all whatever the other ones are. I don't
But
remember.
but you know how
Grumpy.
people answer. They I mean, it is Family Feud there, so like
Yeah.
obviously most of their spouses are going to be right there
Yeah.
also.
Yeah. And they'll get a little mad, but they know. They know what they
Yeah.
do.
I mean, it's one of those like get a little mad and walk home with however much money
Exactly. Because
or
they're
not.
going to be bugging them later. So what would you have said I was? The spouse was
Oh,
nagging him the
yeah.
whole fucking car ride home. So what would
Oh
your
yeah.
answer? What? Like
Yeah.
you might as well have
Oh
just said
yeah.
it on live TV and gotten it over with because there wouldn't have been as much backlash.
Oh yeah. And you could have at least won something for it.
Exactly. Yes.
Uh
Ah. In hindsight.
that was one that they were coming through the Midwest back in, I think it
Oh.
was early 2000 teens, like 2000 or mid 2015ish, and they were coming through. And I was looking at it. I was like, okay, so how do
How do I get my whole team on or my whole family
exactly? I'm
on?
like, okay, how many of us needs to be there? Because I'm like, okay, who can I get to go on there with me? How are we gonna like figure this out?
Yeah,
Does it
and do
have to
they
be
check like birth certificates or whatever, or do you just say, "Oh yeah, this is my mom, this is my cousin," they're just like random people, like friends or whatever. You know what I mean? I wonder if that's
I
happened.
mean, sometimes I think it does end up being friends because of I don't remember exactly what the criteria was. I think it was you had to be either blood or married is
Mm-hmm.
what it said. But then again, I mean,
Yeah, I'm always curious about the audition process too. A lot of these
yeah.
shows, because like one of my favorite shows, it's not really a game show, but The Amazing Race.
Oh yeah.
I've always wanted to apply for that, but they look for certain backgrounds and certain people with personalities and this and that, and I'm just like, I don't know that I'd be able to sell it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
that that whole process just seems nerve-wracking.
It really does. All right. So anything else you got for game shows?
No, I wish I had a line, but I don't remember what they said. Come back next week. Is
Is
this
that your
your
final
final
answer?
answer?
You just won
Ooh.
another episode of
Da, da, da,
90s
da,
Noise.
da. You do. There you go. Well, I'll play a game with you actually. I gotta pull up the hold on, let me pull up the thing so that I can read it. But we'll play our own little game. I forgot what these were called, but I'm sure you played them before, like where you're given this story thing, and you have to fill in the blanks with like a noun or an adjective or
Mad Libs.
Mad Libs. Okay, sorry, I forgot what it was called.
Oh, girl, that was always like a fun thing to
I
do,
love that.
and it was always I always cheated, and I because how you're supposed to do that? Somebody is supposed to just you're supposed to like kind of how you're about to.
Mm-hmm.
You're just saying, give me a noun,
Yep.
give me an adjective, give me a pronoun, all of
Right.
these, and then read the story.
Mm-hmm.
I would always go through like I'd gotten like a Mad Lib book and I like went through and I'm
Oh,
like
and you read
reading
them
the
for.
actual story.
Oh no.
I was a little bitch with that. I always read them.
Oh, okay. Let me get like a little. I didn't get a pencil or anything, so let me write them on my phone real quick. Okay. All right. So I need a noun.
Why are you putting me on the
I
spot
know.
here?
Now you're like, what is a noun? A person, place, or
Can
thing.
you define that? Use it in a sentence.
Oh my
Okay, a
God.
noun. Cow.
A what?
A cow.
Cow? Like a moo cow?
Like a moo cow.
Oh, moo moo.
Moo. Moo.
Oh my God.
She used to move.
Oh, it's like one of the battery operated ones.
1983
Oh,
is what this says.
before you were born.
Before I was born.
Oh, cute. I have actually, that's funny. I have this on the table right here. I've got to see if I can get it to work, but a little
Oh,
piggy.
I got my moo cow.
Oh, we got our little farm animals with us.
And then I
Oh, the
got the little.
puppy.
Do you remember these puppies? The plush pup?
I don't think I remember, but I don't think I ever had any of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
So
now,
I mean, yeah, just go with cow.
okay.
I mean, technically, it's not person. I mean, it's
Person, place, or thing.
we're not gonna get
You have more
sued.
noun options later on, so I can give you. Okay. So now I need 2 adjectives.
I haven't used English in so long. Adjectives are like colors and
Describing
stuff
things,
like
yeah.
that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it was always my brain always would swap that with verbs.
Mm.
So adjective, red, shiny,
And a sport,
tennis.
and then I need 2 more nouns.
You're killing me, Smalls.
I know. Oops. I was gonna say it's
Person, place, or
what's
thing.
behind me. What's behind me?
Mall.
There you go. Cat. That's all I got. That's all I got.
There. All right, so there are my 2 nouns, mall and book.
Book. Oh, okay. Now I need an exclamation. Don't tell me. Don't ask me what that means. An exclamation.
I know what that is. I'm just trying to think of a good one. Ay caramba!
We're just gonna have to remember that. I ain't gonna try to spell that out. What are you trying to do to me? Ay caramba.
What are you trying to do with me? To
Let me
me
see if it
here.
will. Ay caramba. Oh, it does it. Okay. Okay. I don't need you to type. Oh, it does it. Okay.
And that is why I don't use speech to text.
Oh my God. Well, how do you do your watch then?
I usually don't. I did
Oh.
my watch that one day that I couldn't find my phone. And I'm like, but yeah, no, I usually don't do my watch.
Oh.
Like I'll check it to see, and then if I need to respond, if I need to, I'll then grab my phone. But otherwise, I don't use my watch for that.
All right. Last one. Verb.
My watch listens to me already anyway, so
Oh.
I kid you not, I will literally be in the middle of a closing, and it'll go, "I'm sorry, I didn't get that,"
Oh shit.
and I'm like,
Your watch is a
"Go
little
away."
bitch. That's always going off.
It really is. Okay, so you said verb,
Verb past tense.
swam.
Swam. Okay, not swan, swam. Okay. So hold on. I'll share you the front of what it is that I'm doing. See that it's a George. I don't know if you ever
The
got this. The
Jetsons.
George Jetson game thing from Denny's back in the day from 1992. And I
Damn.
somehow still had 2 of these. So they're still in the package. But there's like, I don't know what's inside of them. I haven't opened them at all, but the back is what has the game on it.
I wonder if those would be worth anything.
I know I got them on eBay right now, so we'll see. I mean, other people do have them up on eBay for like $10+ So,
Yeah.
but they're not. I don't know.
Interesting.
Okay, so one day while working at Spacely Space Sprockets, George falls asleep and dreams about a day off. First, he goes to the cow, where he has a red hot dog and a shiny cosmic cola. Ooh,
That actually doesn't sound bad.
that actually doesn't sound bad. Then George dreams that he is a famous tennis player. He becomes the team hero by catching a mall what? Before the other team could score a book. All of a sudden, what's this guy's name again?
I don't remember.
Fuck, what's his name? That one guy, the boss guy.
Mr. Spacey.
Mr.
Spacely. Miss
Spacely.
Spacely.
Oh yeah, duh. Mr. Spacely comes in and yells, "Ay caramba, Jetson!" That sounds like him.
Actually, it kind of does.
George wakes up and says, "Sorry, Mr. Spacely, I guess I must have swam off." So there you go, kids. There is your George's dream day.
Wow.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Those were fun. I love those
Yeah.
games back in the day. The things we did with our time, and now we scroll Instagram.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. Well, that is another episode of 90s Noise. Thank you for joining us on this walk down memory lane for the game shows.
Ooh.
Don't ask.
Oh, I was like, do, 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 do. It's like Smart House over there.
Yeah. Do, 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 do.
uh,
Until next time.
until next time.